Right, good evening again. You're listening to Reggae Rhythms on PBA FM 89.7. I'll hand you over to Sean.
Absolutely beautiful songs there. Well, let's continue on with the saga that is known as Kevin's life with records. That was a terrible intro, but still, I stand by what I imply. So, now, next question I have for you, Kevin, is after all these years of collecting vinyl records and memorabilia and so forth, what do you plan for the future, like in regards to this hobby that you
I'd just like to hang on to them as long as I can. I have thought about selling them on a couple of occasions, and I had a nice gentleman come visit me from Big Star Records, and
Really?
by the time we both got through talking about their value, I decided to keep them.
It's like, I'll see you next year, buddy. So like the guy from Big Star, like which one was that? Because I've
down at Norwood.
Norwood,
Chap down
right.
at Norwood, yeah.
Yeah.
A very nice, knew his music backwards, and he was kind enough to write me out a bit of a list of what's really rare in the Australian side of things, and
Good stuff.
of course, any vinyl record now is harder and harder to procure. But I'll just keep my eyes out. Never know, I might go to garage sale one day, and there might be 2 or 3 sitting down there, and I'll pick up for 50 cents, and they're worth 500 or something. So that'd be nice.
That'd be just nice. Yeah, because like I've actually heard that Big Star in Adelaide is actually closed down. Yeah. Same with Market Bazaar as well, which is just adjacent to them across the road. Yeah,
that's pretty sad news that all these stores are disappearing because they
can't afford the overhead or whatever.
It surprises me because vinyl's still big in the United States. It's big in the United Kingdom. It's big in Perth. It's big in Melbourne.
Perth, absolutely.
It's just good old Adelaide as usual. That
we're always getting the harsh stick, aren't we?
Yeah.
So now this one is sort of like related to your musical efforts. Have you ever crossed paths with anyone famous from the music world? And if so, what was your impression of them?
Yeah, I've met quite a few. Well, when I was younger, I used to always go to the Octagon down to the youth centre down here, as I said, and we had local groups there, like the Easy Beats and the Masters Apprentices, but being 15 and 16 years of age, I was probably more interested in the female side of things than who was up there singing.
Of course.
And as the years went by and I started collecting their records and that, I've been to a few shows where I've met the Masters Apprentices, namely Jimmy Keys and Doug Ford. Doug Ford was fantastic. I had a good talk to him. Jim Keys was really, really polite as well, and both really nice Australians.
Right.
Went to another concert at Festival Theatre and met all the new Deltones.
Deltones, right.
Took a couple of my old 45s that were before these new singers in the Deltones, except for Pee Wee Wilson. He's one of the originals, and had a talk to him for about half an hour, and he's seen one of these record covers, and he goes, "My goodness, how old are you?" And I said, I wouldn't worry about me. People would be worried more about you than me, Yeah, but he was fantastic. Look, it's like anything. They know how to conduct themselves. They're all professional singers. They've all been talking to the public since the year dot, and most of them are down to earth people,
Oh yeah, nice.
And if you treat with them with respect, they consequently treat you with respect,
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's funny you should I mentioned this question in regards to possibly having a future guest on this show. He actually met Bob Marley. Yeah.
So wild, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, tune in for that. I mean, just keep your ears open, people. Just because I may have a man on the inside who's met Bob Marley, and how cool would that be to get an insight into that? So apart from that, so have you met anybody else famous besides the Deltones?
Pete Tilbrook, g'day Pete, with the Party Cats, and Dougie, wherever they are. Yeah, they're nice guys. They played a couple of venues up at Tanunda.
Nice.
And in the Wheat Sheaf there, and to an audience of probably about 30 or 40 people, and top entertainment.
Cool.
And just different people. Doug Parkinson, but I haven't actually met Doug Parkinson. I tell people I have, but he was sitting behind me one night, and I never knew it was him till he was actually up on stage and started singing. I thought, where have I seen him before? And he was sitting right behind me.
It's funny you should mention that. I mean, like on a completely unrelated note, have you ever watched like the Skid House?
Nah.
Skid House.
Oh yeah, yes, I have a couple of times.
Yeah. Well, there's these 3 guys on there. There's like Jon, Skod, and Skid or whatever, and yeah. Well, one of those guys actually, like the bald guy from Skid House. He's like short and bald. I saw him actually at at Palace Nova when the Fringe Festival was on.
Right, right.
And I'm just sitting there, like, you know, with a friend of mine who had on the day like a really, really bad chest cold, and so on a completely unrelated note. And yeah, I saw him just like walking along with his girlfriend in his arm, and yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, that's Jon from your Skid House and everything.
Yeah, you can get caught up in a catch-22 situation
Yeah.
where you're too nervous to go over and meet him.
I mean,
and you can kick yourself because you don't go over and meet him. You know?
I was prepared to do so, but like my friends like insisted that I shouldn't annoy him. I was saying, oh, don't do it. Anyway, moving on to the next question. The last question, actually, in fact, what would have been the first reggae song you were exposed to?
Oh, depends what you really classify that as. I reckon Johnny Nash. Johnny Nash would have been my first, like, that style of sound. There'd be a song called Hold Me Tight, which is very, very old. It's just people might call it, you know, modern music, but I'd sort of put it as very early reggae. It's like a bit of Bob Marley in it, a bit of Jimmy Cliff in it, sort of, you know.
So, so have you actually got any Bob Marley records?
Yeah, I bought a couple of vinyl ones with me tonight. Yep.
Oh, fantastic! So yeah, we're gonna have to pump them out.
Shall I give it away what the songs are? I'll let people stick around and wait and listen to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, if
two of his better ones, I think.
Okay, perhaps if you're listening and you want to actually pick which Bob Marley song we play tonight, the number for the station is 8250-3735. So yeah, what songs do you actually have on offer?
Well, the only two I bought tonight is a song called Buffalo Soldier.
Oh, nice.
And Is This Love?
Is This Love?
Yes.
So yeah. Depending on how many votes we get in via the phone line, yeah, we'll see which song gets played tonight. So that number again is 8250-3735. Now, moving on to the music. Kevin, let me ask you: have you ever heard of The Clash?
Yes, I most definitely have.
Well, here's a song that you may remember. It's called "Hate and War." It's from 1977, and yeah. Let's play it. You're listening to Reggae Rhythms, PBFM. We'll be back in about 20 minutes, or 19 minutes, whichever time that you have.